There is a major trend in the corporate world right now, and that's acquisitions and mergers. Now, this is nothing new, but there's actually been a great deal of them that have recently just taken place. AMR Corp, or American Airlines, bought out U.S. Airways Group for $11 billion. And Anheuser-Busch bought out Grupo Modelo of Mexico for $4.7 billion. Cardinal Health bought out AsuraMed for $2.07 billion. Berkshire Hathaway, which is owned by Warren Buffett, bought out H.J. Heinz, yes, the ketchup, for $23 billion. Dell bought out a private equity firm, Silver Lake, for $24.4 billion. The sources include more mergers. In fact, it's actually greater than this. Last year, in the fourth quarter of 2012, $1 trillion worth of acquisitions and mergers actually occurred. What's driving this? Cash, interest rates, and growth. The S&P 500 companies are finding growth to be very, very difficult right now. The majority of them are boosting profits by merely cost cutting. The thing is, earnings are growing faster than revenue. What's happening is there's cash sitting on these companies' balance sheets. In fact, it's even greater than it used to be. In 2007, it was $564 billion. Today, it's $920 billion. And dividends are still only paying out on an average of 2.05%. Investors are under a great deal of stress to get money out there to get growth. So mergers and acquisitions are pretty much inevitable in a system like this. Well, what's the problem here? Why isn't there any growth? Okay, why is all this money being spent on things that, merging things that already exist rather than creating a new? What's happening here is the circuit of capital is broken. Money purchases commodities, applied labor creates commodities of a greater value, which is sold for money of a greater value. The break is here at M prime, where it is not being reinvested. The circuit of capital is broken, thus it is harming us from being able to end this recession. What's happening here is the money is being used to purchase already existing assets, not invest in new production. This new production would create value. Purchasing assets that already exist do not create value. And that's the major stumbling block to us not being able to crawl out of this recession. What needs to happen is that there needs to be investment into something that produces, preferably, an actual physical commodity, that commodity being purchased. When it's purchased, that stimulates the growth, people get hired, people spend their money, they can be taxed, and the economy can recover. But that's not happening here. What's happening is it's being produced, money is being spent on non-reproducible goods. The circuit of capital is remaining broken. Now, as a result of this, money is being put out, but it's not repairing the economy, which means this whole situation is actually driving us towards what I think will be another dip in the recession, one that can actually be worse than the first, because we are not recovering, yet all this money is being put out on non-reproducible assets. And that is what's going to drive us into another recession.